Hey guys, I'm Doug Aldrich. I play guitar.
And I, my friends, am Jon Corabi, and I'm the singer of the Dead Daisies. Honestly, it's been great. There's been I think from album to album, there's been a gradual progress for each record. Make some noise, then Live and Louder was a little more. And this last one, even though it was a bit heavier than anything we've done before, it was still received really well. I mean, the first shows when the record came out in April, we rehearsed in New York, and then we flew over to England, and we got word that all of England, all the shows in England, and most of the shows in Europe were already sold out. So it was pretty cool. And it was pretty awesome.
The record charted really well too. It surpassed Make Some Noise in some areas too. So it's great. Like John says, it's been a constantly pushing the envelope.
It's kind of there's really no rhyme or reason to the way Daisies do anything. We don't even really write full songs, which we could all do. But for that sound, for a really collaborative sound, basically what we do is we just start with riffs. And it was funny. We were in New York. We rehearsed and wrote at Alicia Keys' studio. And we had already started working on maybe 4 or 5 songs. And then I forget what song we were working. We were working on something, and Marco was talking about like an old school Sabbath, Grand Funk bass sound. And the engineer that was working with us, he goes, "Oh, dude, you got to try this pedal. It'll change your life," and whatever. Long, it's really long-winded story, but we tried the pedal, and then Marco immediately started playing the riff that became What Goes Around Comes Around. So we're all like, "Oh man, that's great." And then Doug goes, "Well, that's a bit heavier than I thought we were going, but I have this riff." And then he brought what became Rise Up. So at that point, those 2 songs kind of dictated the direction of the rest of the record. You know what I mean?
And then we also went to some new directions too, like with Set Me Free and Judgment Day. We kind of Make Some Noise was a little bit more straight ahead, just rockin' album, like a Friday night party rock. This record is a little deeper in some ways, so it's good. Just keep it fresh. You don't want to make the same record twice. Well, as John was saying, it's really organic. We just get together and he'll have an idea, somebody will have an idea, and we will all work on it and see where it goes. And we record it just very roughly onto our phone or something, and then we move on. And then we kind of go back and take stock of maybe 30 or 40 ideas that we have, and then we pick, 10, and we go, then let's write some more. We'll come up with another 20 ideas. Eventually, we vote, like we'll have votes and see which songs get the most votes by the guys in the band and the producer. So it's organic is the best way to put it, and it's not a struggle, because everyone helps, everyone's invested. If you write a song by yourself, you're constantly thinking, I could go this way, I could go that way, it could have this kind of beat, it could whatever. But when everybody's doing it together, everybody's invested in it, and it moves along really fast. And then we would go right in the studio, and we'd listen to the best ones that we picked, and we'd start with one of them and learn it and play it live until it sounds right, and then we'd record it. So it's like capturing it right at the beginning, not like trying to perfect the demo and then trying to copy the demo, which is what I've done in the past, right? So it's good.
And as far as the actual timing of the records, it's really kind of management. Just says, hey, like they were already saying it's been like a year and a half since our last record. So we're going to take some time off. Today's our last show of the tour for 2018. We'll go home. We'll deal with the holidays. and then maybe April, May, we'll all reconvene, get together, start writing, start work on the new record, and then right back out on tour again. So it's usually management, though, that sorts out the scheduling and the timing of everything. We've been pretty, I mean, God, since I know they did an album and an EP before I joined. And then since I joined in 2015, we've done, we did like 4 records in 3 years. So it's a lot. So I think management said, all right, let's take a little time here, get your thoughts, whatever. And we're gonna probably hit it back again mid 2019. No, I don't think we really look at it as anything. I mean, it's just like, you know, a bunch of pals getting together. We you know, it's like management will say, hey, we need a new record. We're getting together in May. And we're like, okay, everybody shows up with their ideas. We just do what we do. And then
we don't think of it also we don't think of it like a super group thing, because we've all known each other and worked with each other for a long time, so we have a mutual respect. And when we leave, we try to leave our egos out of it. You know, it's really cool that way. We even used to make a joke when people would say super group. We would joke and say, yeah, we like soup. You know, we all have different kinds of soup we like ramen noodles or whatever.
chili,
but
it's not a soup.
Yeah, chili's not a soup. I told you.
Yes, it's not a soup. I agree now.
It's a stew. But anyway, no, it's like John said. We're friends, and that's how we work together.
Sounds good.
I mean, everybody's doing other things as well. Like I have a solo band. I go out and I do acoustic shows. Doug's got Revolution Saints. What's the other band that you're
Burning
Rain. Dean's got some, so we're always doing other things anyway, but it's just management will call and go, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's the new record. We want to do a new record. Let's get together and at this time and we just go.
I think it's a really good thing. I think, more bands will be doing it in the future because it really makes everyone happy to be in that situation. And it's really fun for us, we can goof around and play around a little bit. And there's not like, tight restraints on it, so we can have fun. And then to meet the people briefly is it's really awesome. We can't do that. We can't hang with them that long because we have to get ready for the show, but we get to say hi and sign some stuff, take some pictures, and they feel good, we feel good.
What we're doing is we're inviting the first 75 or 100 fans in, play the acoustic set for them, sign. We give them a poster, sign for them, take some photos with them, sign the records, and then, tonight tomorrow, like at 8 a.m., we're all flying out of here to fly home. So there's no signing at the end of the night, but we are, shaking their hands, meeting them, talking to them for a minute. We've actually become friends with a lot of them, and we're realizing that, there's several here tonight that have seen 8 or 10 shows, this year with us, and we've become friends, and so it's cool, man. It's like, oh, hey, man, how you doing? And it's funny, they're coming here like, how are you feeling? How's Doug feeling? Because they know we were sick earlier in the tour. So you actually become friends, and they're a little bit of an extended family, so it's cool. And they're digging the fact that we ain't charging them for it. So it's all good. To each his own, man. Everybody's got to do what they got to do to make their lives work. And I get it. Like, I know there's a lot of guys when we were coming up, that made some money, and they bought extravagant homes, and they've got, their kids are in the best schools, and then all of a sudden, like, the money's not coming in as much as it used to. So they start going, oh, how can I make extra? Oh, you know what? Let's do a meet and greet. We'll charge $1,000 or $500 or whatever for a meet and greet. And, I think they're, I don't want to say panicked, but maybe a little panicked. They're trying to think about it. And I think if they really thought about it, because we're kind of proving it right now. If they thought about it and they didn't, if they just took 15 or 20 minutes, 30 minutes and said, we're going to come out, sit at the bar and sign some things for free, the fans would embrace them that much more, tell more fans about it. It's, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but he'll tell you, every night I ask the guy to turn the light on and I go, how many people have seen the band before? And it's a lot. And then I go, how many are seeing the band for the first time? And we're finding on this run that we've done now, the people that are seeing the band for the first time is outnumbering the people that have seen the band before.
Yeah.
So it's obviously working. You know what I mean? And I think that if they just breathed a little bit, some of these other musicians and they saw, like, maybe took a play out of the playbook here that, you know, wow, okay, if I just do this, give them something back, the fans would be much more apt to tell their friends about whatever band it is. You know what I mean?
There's some new bands coming out. The New Roses was one of them, you know. And
love that band.
And there's a few others too, but I think it's just it's a process where it goes through cycles. And you know, with this band, one of the reasons I joined this band was I felt like it's just guys that are, you know, halfway through their career, or I don't know, something like that. And we might be able to, when some of the bigger bands start to fade away, some of them are retiring and stuff, that we'd slip into that thing. So if it keeps going like it's going, we might be able to do that, and that would be really awesome. But the internet changed everything with rock music, or music in general, and movies and stuff, and you just have to adapt to it. So we, at the same time of everything else, we have a social media plan that's really helpful to get our music out there. I would say Germans are generally more, I mean, John lights them up a lot. He gets them going, but in Germany, people are more really focusing on the music and listening to it. And they're very dedicated fans in Germany. And if they like you, they like you. And if they don't, they don't. That's what I see. And I'm not going to mention a band, but I've been in a band where the fans turned on that band, and it was very difficult in Germany. With this band, because John he's a great MC aside from being a lead singer, and people have fun, and we try to engage on stage too with them, so they're a little louder than I would expect in Germany. The only reason why I picked up an instrument was it was summertime and all my friends were gone on summer vacation, and my little sister had a classical guitar. And I just didn't have anything to do. I was bored, and I thought, well, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I really liked it. I love music, and I loved. At that time, I didn't have a record player or anything. I just listened to what was on the radio. But I really liked the way the guitar sounded, and the more I learned, the more interesting it was. It's kind of like, you know, old school having a PlayStation or something. The more you learn, the more you want to do it. And then I started finding about bands like Led Zeppelin, you know, and Deep Purple.
It'd be the same for me. I mean, I kind of, I honestly, I remember going to my cousin's house, and he played me a 45 of Hello Goodbye by the Beatles. And I just remember that I'm like, oh, this is cool, the song, you know, I love the, you know, and then I started singing, and I immediately started to realize there was a pattern at the end where he goes, hey la, hey low, and he goes, cha, cha, hey la, and then the next time he does a scream, and then the next time he goes, ooh, and I was like, oh, there's a pattern here, and I just remember dissecting the song as I was listening to it, and going, this is fucking awesome, this is really cool, you know, and then I got Abbey Road. And then that's it. I was done. I'm like, I don't know what I'm hearing or feeling right now, but I want a part of this somehow. And then same as Doug said, I wound up getting into Bowie and Zeppelin and Aerosmith and all this other great stuff. And then I was obsessed with it. I was just overly obsessed.
Beach Boys. Beach Boys Endless Summer Tour, 1976 or 7, one of those.
My first concert was Bachman Turner Overdrive. Who you probably like. There's just, you're not even getting any sort of a reaction, so she doesn't even know who I'm talking about.
I do.
Oh, okay. And Bob Seger was the opening act. So that was my first concert back in, I don't even know, it was 75, 74, 75, 76, something like that. So we're I was 4.
I'm still a fan of the old music myself. There's sometimes I'll hear some stuff that I like, but wouldn't be so much inspired by it as I would just say, oh, that's pretty cool or something. I mean, for me, I feel like my roots and inspiration are there's still so much of old music that I'm still discovering, that I still find, and it's so cool. You know, you find, and then you'll go through waves where you put something away for a while and you won't listen to it, and then you rediscover it, and you're like, wow. You know, and then some bands like the band Yes. When I was a kid, I didn't really love Yes that much. It was more of a progressive band, but now I listen to them and it's like, wow, that's so cool. You know, so it's fine. There's so much music that you have to draw from.
I mean, for me, like a band like Greta Van Fleet, everybody seems to be on their wagon right now. And they're like, oh, yeah, the next Led Zeppelin. No, they sound like there's elements of Led Zeppelin. And I'm not saying I dislike the band. I like what I've heard. But it's not Led Zeppelin. And if I want to listen to Led Zeppelin, I'll just go back and listen to Led Zeppelin. You know what I mean? I honestly, I have to say this. I think of the new bands that I've seen of late, probably the most original, and they're not even really reinventing the wheel, but there's something about them. I love the band. We just did the Kiss cruise, and we were on the road with them earlier in the year, and that's the New Roses. There's something about that band, like they have these songs, and I listen to them, and you go, God, it's weird. Like it falls into a AC/DC. Oh no! It sounds like Tom Petty. Oh no! It sounds like, you know what I mean? There's all these different categories and things that they're drawing from, and I just love the band. I love Timmy's voice. You know what I mean? They're just awesome. So I think as far as doing something like really original, you can't really put your finger on, like when you listen to that band, you go, they remind me of somebody, but you can't say directly, oh, Led Zeppelin. You know what I mean? They're taking all these different influences and putting them into a pot and stirring it up, and they deliver the goods live. So they're great. So that's my new favorite band right now.